Most hated men in America. Chris Watts murdered his pregnant wife and 2 young girls, and now he's getting married again with a woman he met while he was behind bars. Justin Finch reports.
Chris Watts, the monster who annihilated his family 8 years ago in one of the most cold-blooded crimes of the century, may be getting married behind bars. Who would want to be the wife of the despised Chris Watts? Apparently, this woman does. Her name is Lizzie Henderson. She's 39 years old and is a realtor from Cleveland. Luke Kenton, a Daily Mail senior reporter, broke the story.
Relatives have told us that Lizzie and Chris are going through the motions of applying to get permission to be married behind bars, and to do that they have to get permission from the warden and also meet a very strict kind of list of criteria first.
So this could take some time.
It could take some time.
Henderson is reportedly already using the name Lizzie Watts. Court records show a Lizzie Henderson applied for a confidential name change. Details of the case are sealed. Prison logs at the Dodge Correctional Facility in Wisconsin, where Watts is serving consecutive life sentences, show she visited Watts 23 times over 15 months. Each was a contact visit lasting up to 3 hours. The prison allows inmates to embrace and kiss their visitors at the start and end of their visits, but no excessive displays of affection are permitted. No conjugal visits allowed. The Daily Mail published these photos of Henderson, and look, she's already wearing a wedding ring. What do we know about how Lizzie and Chris even met?
So this is a bit of a mystery at the moment. We did speak directly to Lizzie, and she said to us, quote, how we met is between Chris and I and God.
The murders committed by 41-year-old Watts shocked America. He strangled his wife, Shanann, who was 15 weeks pregnant, and buried her in a shallow grave. He smothered his children, Bella and Cece, and dumped them in these oil tanks. The idea of certain women being attracted to notorious killers is a phenomenon called hybristophilia. Luigi Mangione, who was back in court today for a pretrial hearing, has a legion of supporters, some of whom write him romantic letters. But it's hard to see Chris Watts as husband material.
Prison records show the items Chris Watts buys most from the commissary are large quantities of paper and stamps to maintain his correspondence with female admirers.
I say go Steelers.
No.
Come on, say go Steelers.
No.
Go Steelers. Cece, say go Steelers. Hi. Go Steelers. Say it.
No.
No. You want to say, here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Bella's eating mommy's yummy brownies. What do you say, Bella? Are those brownies good? Are they delicious? That's your second one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that your second one? Oh, you're sharing? That's so sweet of you. Hi, Lori. Okay. Now say go Steelers. All right, guys. So Bella said, go live, Mommy, go live. So we went live. So I'm running a promo that I've been running for the last couple of days, and I have one left. I had 2 this morning, and I have 1 left. So anyone that's interested in joining and starting their Thrive experience now, as my crazy kid moves furniture in the kitchen, starting their Thrive experience and get going and feeling amazing, I have a huge promo. So today's the last day, midnight Eastern today. Cece, you're here. You're live. Say hi. Cece, come here. I'll help you. Kids. And then I told you guys I was going to run a promo for the Steelers today. So anyone that's interested and ready to start their Thrive experience, shoot me a message. Celeste, come here. I'll help you. Come here, little stinker. Say hi. Hi. See, I have a red nose. We just came in from outside playing. Right? Say hi. Hi. Say wave. Hi. Hi. Do you want Mickey? Mickey? Do you want cheese? Cheese?
Sophia.
And Sophia? right, kid, you're going to the store with me. All right, guys. So you saw my chaos here. Shoot me a message. I'd love to help you guys get started with your Thrive experience and get going. So shoot me a message. I want to help you out. Lori, I have plenty of brownies for you if Bella doesn't eat them all. She's already had 2 in the last 15 minutes. She loves them. So they're the fudgy ones too. Not too thick. Just right. Hi, Taylor. See, Taylor, we have all these brownies that Bella's been eating on you. You should have came over. Say hi, Taylor.
Hi, Taylor.
Say, I miss you.
I miss you.
When you coming to see me?
I think you see me.
Yeah, say, that's my bed head I just woke up to. It's funny. You want Mommy's water? Wash down that brownie. Say hi, Sandy.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Lori. Oh, wait, she's taking a drink of her water. It's very important.
Years after Chris Watts was sentenced for the murders of his pregnant wife, Shanann, and their daughters, Bella and Celeste, a new story began circulating online. That Watts had allegedly developed a romantic connection with a woman named Lizzie Henderson while behind prison walls. But before accepting that claim as fact, there is an important question to ask. What evidence actually exists? The idea of a notorious prisoner finding love behind bars immediately attracts attention because it creates a disturbing contrast. Watts was convicted after pleading guilty to killing members of his own family, yet stories about women communicating with him have continued to generate fascination among true crime audiences. An alleged relationship with Lizzie Henderson would raise even more questions. Why would someone willingly develop an emotional connection with a man serving multiple life sentences? Was it genuine affection? Curiosity about one of America's most notorious criminal cases? Or could the story itself have grown through online speculation? Unless reliable documentation confirms the relationship, those questions remain unanswered. Prison relationships can begin through letters, telephone calls, or other forms of approved communication. Sometimes people become emotionally attached to incarcerated individuals without ever experiencing a conventional relationship outside prison. And because private communications are often unavailable to the public, outsiders may never know the full story. That uncertainty is exactly what makes stories like this so compelling. If you're interested in separating the facts from the rumors surrounding Chris Watts and the people connected to his prison life, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who follows the case. But one thing should never be forgotten. Whatever claims circulate about Watts' personal life today, they do not change what happened to Shanann, Bella, and Celeste. Their lives remain at the center of this story. And the question surrounding Lizzie Henderson is not simply whether someone could develop feelings for Chris Watts. The bigger question is whether this alleged relationship actually happened. And if it did, what could have brought two people together under such extraordinary circumstances? The story surrounding Lizzie Henderson becomes even more complicated when we consider how relationships with prisoners can begin. Unlike ordinary relationships, communication from behind bars can happen through letters, approved phone calls, or other monitored forms of contact. A person on the outside may gradually develop an emotional connection with someone they have never experienced in everyday life. In the case of Chris Watts, that possibility has attracted intense attention because of the crimes that placed him in prison. His public image is inseparable from the murders of Shanann, Bella, and Celeste, yet people who communicate with him may encounter a very different side of his personality through private conversations. That does not mean that side is necessarily genuine, and it certainly does not erase his crimes. It simply explains why prison relationships can be difficult for outsiders to understand. If Lizzie Henderson did communicate with Watts, the reasons behind that connection would ultimately be known only to the people involved unless they publicly explained them. Perhaps it began with curiosity about the case. Perhaps it developed through repeated conversations. Or perhaps the claims circulating online have been exaggerated or misunderstood. That distinction is critical. True crime communities often revisit old cases looking for new information, and social media can quickly transform an unconfirmed claim into something that sounds like established history. A rumor repeated across multiple videos and posts can appear convincing even when no reliable documentation exists. So when discussing an alleged relationship between Watts and Lizzie, the responsible approach is to separate what can be confirmed from what remains speculation. Before we continue, if you want more stories that examine the facts behind the headlines, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone interested in the Watts case. Because whether this alleged relationship was real or simply an internet story, one question remains impossible to ignore. What would make someone look beyond the crimes of Chris Watts and believe there was another person worth knowing behind the prison walls? The idea of Chris Watts finding love after murdering his family is one of the most controversial aspects of the story. But before accepting the idea of a prison romance as fact, it is important to understand why relationships involving notorious prisoners attract so much attention. For someone on the outside, communication with an incarcerated person can create a very unusual emotional environment. Letters and phone calls can become personal. Conversations can continue over long periods of time, and the person behind bars may appear very different from the image presented in news reports and court documents. That can create a powerful sense of connection. But there is another side to the story. A person communicating with a prisoner may know that person's history primarily through what they choose to reveal. The public record surrounding Chris Watts is far broader. His crimes, his guilty pleas, and the evidence presented during the investigation cannot simply disappear because someone believes they have discovered a different side of him. If Lizzie Henderson truly developed feelings for Watts, the reasons for that connection would be deeply personal. Perhaps she believed she understood him in a way the public did not. Perhaps she was fascinated by the case and gradually became emotionally attached. Or perhaps the entire story has been amplified online beyond what can actually be proven. Without reliable documentation, we cannot know which explanation is correct. That uncertainty has not stopped people from debating the alleged relationship. Some viewers find the idea disturbing because of the suffering experienced by Shanann, Bella, and Celeste. Others are interested in the psychology of why someone might become emotionally attached to a notorious offender. But fascination should never be confused with approval of a crime. If you're following this story, take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who enjoys carefully examining true crime stories. Because the most important question isn't simply whether Chris Watts could find companionship behind bars. It's whether the story about Lizzie Henderson is supported by evidence, or whether the internet has turned an unverified claim into something much bigger than the facts. The alleged relationship between Chris Watts and Lizzie Henderson raises another uncomfortable question. What happens when a notorious criminal becomes more than a case file to someone on the outside? For the public, Watts is permanently connected to the murders of Shanann, Bella, and Celeste. His guilty pleas and life sentences are part of the documented record. But someone communicating with him from prison could potentially experience a very different interaction, one based on private conversations rather than courtroom evidence.
What's going through your mind right now?
I don't know where my kids are. I don't know where Shanann is. It's not something I could ever fathom would happen in my lifetime, and I have no inclination of where she is. Yeah. We've reached out to friends, family. Both of our families are back in North Carolina, so they're beside themselves. Like, we all have friends in North Carolina. We have friends here. We have friends everywhere. And not knowing like where she is or where the kids are, I don't know what to do right now. I just feel so alone in this house right now, and I don't know where to go from here right now.
And you said you had to stay here by yourself last night. When I opened the door, it's like you're almost like.
I mean, my heart's racing a mile a minute. I mean, Everything that's happening the last few days, it's earth-shattering right now. It's like my world's been turned upside down. It's like I have friends that have offered to I didn't feel like I should have left last night, like just in case, like maybe she came back, maybe the kids came back, maybe something happened, maybe there's a knock on the door. I wanted to be here. I didn't think last night was a good time to stay with anybody else, or, I mean, I want friends to be here with me because that just makes me feel better.
And how do you think the police have responded so far?
It's been amazing. They've been in constant contact. Frederick Police Department, detectives, officers, sergeants. They have the dogs coming through to get scents. I mean, they've been on top of everything. Missing persons reports. Everything's been. They've been.
Do you have any idea where she could be?
She said she was going to her friend's house with the kids, and that's the last thing I heard. And that was it. It was very vague, and it was very. I don't have no inclination of where she is. Every friend that I've called that has a car seat that could have come and got her.
And you saw her yesterday morning?
Yeah, I saw her yesterday morning. She got back from the airport, and I mean, she has to be somewhere. In my heart, I believe that she is somewhere, and I hope that she is safe.
Search dog go in your house right now to get a scent. A line of police cars.
I'm so happy that they're here right now doing everything that they can. It scares the living crap out of me right now, just knowing that it's come to this and that she didn't come home last night with the kids. Like, Shanann, Bella, and Celeste, if you're out there, please, just come home.
And you, yesterday, when her friends were calling frantic, something in you said, well, she'll just be home.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like her not to answer a phone call or a text. And when her friend Nicole showed up at the door, I was just like, all right, something's up. And I came home, and it was like I walked into a ghost town. Like, everything, she wasn't here. Kids weren't here. It was just they were here and then they were gone.
Yeah. And did you see the kids in the morning too?
Just in the monitor.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. And you leave really early.
Mm-hmm.
That difference can create a powerful emotional divide. A person might hear stories about regret, loneliness, childhood memories, or personal struggles, and begin to see the prisoner as an individual rather than only as the person responsible for a horrific crime. But understanding someone's emotions does not mean excusing their actions. If Lizzie truly developed a relationship with Watts, only documented statements from her or reliable records could explain what she believed she was experiencing. It would be irresponsible to invent private conversations or claim to know her motives. This is also where social media can complicate the story. A dramatic claim about a prison romance can spread rapidly because it combines two things that attract enormous attention: a notorious criminal and the possibility of unexpected love. Once the story is repeated enough times, viewers may assume that it has been confirmed, even when the original source is unclear. That is why every detail deserves scrutiny. What was actually documented? Who made the original claim? Is there a reliable interview, public statement, or record supporting it? And are later videos simply repeating information that came from an unverified source? If you enjoy true crime stories that separate evidence from speculation, take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who follows the Watts case. Because the alleged relationship may be fascinating, but the truth is more important than the headline. And if Lizzie Henderson really did develop feelings for Chris Watts, the story becomes even more complicated. Was she seeing a side of him that the public never knew, or was she seeing the version of himself that Watts wanted her to see? In the end, the story about Chris Watts and Lizzie Henderson leaves more questions than answers. The idea that Watts could develop a romantic relationship while serving multiple life sentences is certainly a story that attracts attention, but attention alone does not make the claim true. Unless reliable documentation confirms that Lizzie Henderson and Chris Watts actually had a romantic relationship, the story should remain described as an allegation rather than an established fact. Private prison correspondence can be difficult for outsiders to understand, and without verified statements from the people involved, it is impossible to know exactly what may have happened behind the scenes. But there is something we do know. Chris Watts pleaded guilty to killing Shanann Watts and their daughters, Bella and Celeste. Nothing about a possible friendship, correspondence, or alleged romance changes those established facts. It also cannot change the pain experienced by Shannon's family or the lives that were taken.
All right, everybody. I am blind. I'm sitting here at the pool with everybody. Woo! Hello! Hi! And Nikki just hit 12K. She just earned her car bonus. How exciting is it, Nikki?
So exciting that I can't talk.
She's been working for over a year. She finally decided last month that she was going to go full-time working the business after leaving a job of how many years were you there? 14 years. And decided to make this change and help people live the life they deserve. And within a month, she hit 12K.
I hate you, but I love you.
There's a lot of hearts on you right now. I won't tell you how many people are watching. All right. You want to say anything?
Great job, Nikki. It's going to be nothing but Lavelle getaways and auto bonuses from here on out. I'm super.
And I'm even proud. I love you.
I love you too.
What kind of car are you going to get?
If Ken has his way, a Tesla.
A Tesla.
Oh, my husband wants a Tesla.
Well, then tell him to earn his own car bonus.
What are the choices?
So they can choose from a Tesla, a Cadillac, Lexus, BMW, Mercedes, and an Audi. So she has a lot of choices. We've been test driving already. We've been to the Lexus dealership. We got the Tesla dealership we got to go to. And so maybe the Audi dealership. So, all right, everybody. Bye. Congratulations. Bye.
That is why stories about Watts' personal life should always be approached carefully. A dramatic headline can generate thousands of views, but responsible true crime storytelling requires distinguishing between documented events, allegations, and speculation. If the alleged relationship was real, perhaps the people involved experienced emotions that outsiders could never fully understand. If it was exaggerated online, then the story is another example of how quickly rumors can become part of a true crime narrative. Either way, the victim should never disappear behind the sensational details. If you want more true crime stories that separate fact from rumor, like this video, subscribe to the channel and share it with someone who follows the Watts case. And now the question goes to you. If someone truly developed feelings for Chris Watts while he was in prison, what do you think they were responding to? The person they believed they knew, the story they had heard, or simply the fascination surrounding one of America's most notorious criminal cases? Whatever the answer, one thing remains unchanged. Shanann, Bella, and Celeste were real people whose lives mattered, and their memory deserves to remain at the center of this story.